good morning. We're gonna get going here, and we're gonna get this rack built. I don't think it'll take too long, and I was gonna make it a little bigger for an extra box, and I decided no, that's just an excuse to hoard extra junk. So we're gonna stick with the original 4 boxes, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm gonna cut up these 2x4s. We're gonna go 81 1/4 for our 4 posts, 4 corners, and go from there. I might have to take a pause and work on my saw here because it hasn't been playing nice lately with the guard. If I do, you won't see it. So let's get going. That's one. We got our uprights cut. We got our top stretchers, our bottom stretchers. If I measured right, 19 1/4, 16 1/4. And now for a non-pro tip from me to you. How often do you pull out your saw and make sure everything's aligned before you use it? I used to for a very short time when I was a young man. And then I just default to, it's all good, and it probably is. But here's something you can do every now and then if you want to keep up, and this goes for your circular saw, your chop saw, your table saw. Every now and then, take a scrap, throw it in there and chop off a piece. Now grab your speed square and check it. Is it cutting true that way? Yes. Is it tilted in any way? No. And lastly, is it making nice level cuts? Anyway, it's just a quick something you can do to keep your stuff tuned up. Should we be checking our tools every time we use them? Absolutely. Are we gonna? Heck no! Follow along, I got more non-pro tips. Oh, this can be turned into a decorative half coaster, so it's not a waste. What you do is after you've tested your saw 20,000 times, is you edge glue 2 of them together, sand them down to about 1600 grit, put about 4 coats of a poly finish on it, and there's a Christmas coaster. Another free tip. Okay, moving on. I'm going to get these pre-drilled. That's something that I have been hugely lazy about in the past. And then I hear a crack and go, I'm going to take the time, pre-drill, and get these things put together. I don't think this is going to take very long. I shouldn't have said that out loud. We'll see, right? Okay, let's go. So, I could eyeball these. I usually do. But for demo purposes, I went and threw a piece of 2x4, because that's what it's going to screw into, and did a little quick line. Not necessary, but again, another tip. I stack the 2. I'm not going to go all the way through, but what I do is I go, watch. These will be coming up from the bottom, so you're not going to see them, but it marks the board below, and that allows them to all be uniform. Does that matter? Nope. Would I normally do it if I wasn't filming it? Nope. But I thought it was something cool I could show you, and you might get a kick out of. These are going to go on the bottom with screws going up. I bought these 3-inch screws at one point that you needed, but I don't need them very often. So I'm going to use those up on this, and I will add glue. And the other part here is the 16 1/4. We're going to come in from the side. So I'm going to drill holes at the top of my risers there. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again. You know how to drill a hole, and I've given you all my tips. So hang on. Well, I'm going to tell you, this table has already paid off huge dividends for me. just working out here and not having to squat down on the cold concrete to nail things and screw things together. Amazing. Also, I'm not wasting a brush or my finger and spreading the glue to make sure it's got full coverage. Something I would do depending on the use of the structural integrity needed. But I'm just getting a good amount of glue on there, and I'm just going to screw it together and let force spread it out all over evenly. Okay, I should have plugged in an extension cord, but I didn't. I will, but not right now. Because I'm not recording twice. I go full bore one time. Look at that. That pre-drilling, boy. I'm going to show you these, but y'all know when I say I'm going to screw the parts together, how to screw the parts together. I'm not talking to you like you're in 3rd grade. If you are in fact a viewer who is in 3rd grade, let me know. I'll make a special video just for you. Oops. Okay, so I didn't want to just show the same thing over and over, but I cut all my cross pieces, and I'm going to show you real quick. I made mine 21.5 inches using some galvanized nails I had left over from something. I went 2.5 inches down from the top for the first one. I left 17 inches between each one all the way down. It's going to give me a little extra on the bottom, which I may put a piece of plywood on the bottom. I don't know. We'll get to that. And I nailed them in instead of screwed because it's better for shear strength. But the honest truth is I just had more nails than I do screws right now. So, and I wanted to mention mine are 12-gallon containers. So if yours aren't and you want to make something like this, take your own measurements. Matter of fact, I would take my own measurements anyway because y'all should know better than to trust me. Anyway, I'm going to put the last few nails in. Okay, so we got her upright off the ground. So I did have to work on the ground a little bit to nail them in. Test fitted it. It's perfect dimensionally, front to back, side to side. So that's working for me. But my one thing I wasn't sure of, I'm sure of now. If you hit it from the side, you can see it's got a lot of play. That's not wiggling on the ground. That's because it's just some butt joints in the 4 corners. So I have, again, we're working with what we got. I got this piece of 1/4-inch birch ply that I have kicking around. So I'm going to cut some triangles and put them in the back 4 corners. It's not the thickness, I could use 2x4s or 1x pieces, but I think getting it nailed in each corner in the back will give it that extra strength. So I'll do that, and then we can judge me when I'm done if that was a good idea or not. So far also, I didn't mention when I nailed these, I also glued them too. I'm a glue fool now. I'm a believer. So when this thing is done and has a day or two to cure up, it should be rock solid. But I just want to fix that little stray. I can't do it in the fronts because the bins will hit it. Thinking. So let's get that done and we'll go from there. I'll make sure you see the most of it is, yeah, anyway. Let's just get that done. All right, glued and nailed, scrap pieces in all 4 corners. I think it's going to make a difference. Let's find out together. Stand her back up. Let's not hit the ceiling. Oh, yeah. Yep. So it doesn't look like much. These were, again, scrap out of square piece that I started with. So I cut it about 8 by 8. A square, B square, C square. So it really is a lot more stable. If I was loading these bins up to the capacity, or I don't even know what the capacity is, but if Each one has under 15 pounds in it. Most of them a lot less. So I think it's going to be great. The big test I'm putting, hang on, don't go away. I'm putting casters on the bottom. I got the cheap ones, but they're good for like 100 pounds. Okay, we're gonna slap the casters on it just so I can move it out of the way if I need to, but most of the time they'll be locked in, so we'll see if that affects its stability once I put the casters on, load the boxes in, and you'll get to see it all. So we're gonna flip her over, do that. We're almost done. This has been a nice, easy project. Highly recommend one. And again, the price, because I had the screws and the nails, is under 50 bucks, so. Why am I putting these on again, you ask? Because after that last clip, when I was showing the casters, which for you was a minute ago, for me it was 15 minutes ago, I realized that my garage door, the rails, this was going to be too tall and it was going to block the door from opening. Rookie mistake. Should have caught that in the design phase. But I could have not told you, but I'm telling you about it because we all do it. I used to beat myself up when I would make a bonehead mistake, and then many years later, and not that long ago, I realized I'm not the only bonehead, and it made me feel good. So for the fellow boneheads out there, it was about that much too tall. The good news, I had left, remember I said I might put plywood on the bottom? My thought there was if I have something, actually I see something, that could use a shelf, I could use that as more storage. I should have known. So I eliminated that extra, so the last bin will just fit right where it's supposed to. There'll be no extra room on the bottom. So I had to rip off these because they were nailed in and it's 1/8 inch. And I had to cut them, re-screw the cross pieces on, cut some new corner pieces out of that 1/8 inch. We're all caught up, 15 minutes lost, and life is good again. But if you make mistakes, don't tell people about it. No, I mean, go ahead, tell people, it's okay. I'm gonna rummage around and get some screws and get these casters put on, stand it back up. Now I know it won't be too tall, and we'll see what it looks like. Thanks for bearing with me here. All right. Paint, caulk, and accessories. She's done. She's rolling. I had to shorten the bottom, like I said. Here, let me show you. So we don't have a lot of extra space down there. I maintained a little space in between, except for the top one, which is I'm not going to be adding. But if I need a miscellaneous hardware, I can open it up, take the lid off, and grab something without pulling the bin out. Or conversely, I find something I want to add, I can easily do it without removal. Some considerations. If it's on wheels, they have to be kept clear. If it hits something, my fear would be that you would push it and it could go over on you. So also, what am I putting in it? How much weight? I wouldn't load this thing up with a ton of weight for the fact that, well, I don't want to lift the heavy bins off of it, but just for rolling safety. The other consideration is where's it gonna go? Will it fit? Sorry, I'm off there. Will it fit? Now it will. I'm happy with it. Took a couple extra minutes, but it came out okay. It's gonna work for me. Will it work for you? That's up to you. If I think of any more I'm gonna not edit this. Oh, my garage floor is a rough pour from the 40s. So when I do this and it wiggles, that's completely my floor and not the casters or the framing. But also a consideration. And with all things, this is so tempting for a little one to climb on. You got little kids in your area, in your work area. I would still build it. I would install a latch to hold it to the wall so that, yeah, kids are gonna climb on things and fall down, but you don't want your bin storage organizer to fall on them. So that's something I would add if that were a consideration, but nobody comes in my garage because it's my garage. Oh, except my wife and her car, because we share. So on that note, I hope you're having a good new year, and I hope I can come up with some other projects. Oh no, I have a lot of projects. I hope some of them are worth filming and sharing with you, because I'm really having fun still. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.